The 1970s purse was never just a purse. It was storage, emergency kit, snack drawer, medicine cabinet, filing system, and mystery box all at the same time. But certain items showed up again and again. And if you grew up around a 1970s purse, you already know exactly what I mean. 1. Loose, hard candy.
For old-fashioned candy store goodness, nothing else to do. Like old-fashioned candy store candy, the kind Brach makes for you.
Brach's knows the secret of old-fashioned candy store candy, so Brach's uses pure, real chocolate, good country butter, whole milk, plump raisins and cherries.
There was almost always candy in there, but never in the way candy is carried now. It usually wasn't in a sealed package or a neat little pouch. It was loose, tucked into a side pocket, sitting under receipts, or rolling around somewhere at the bottom of the purse like it had been waiting for the right moment since last Tuesday.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rolo Candy presents the Chewy Rolos.
There are lots of chewy Rolos in the roll for you. If you're choosy about what you chew. Real milk, chocolate, and caramel too.
A butterscotch, a peppermint, maybe one of those fruit-flavored hard candies wrapped in cellophane that had twisted open slightly on one end. Sometimes it was sticky from the heat. Sometimes it had collected a tiny bit of purse lint. And somehow, none of that stopped anyone from accepting it when it was offered.
Visitors from outer space!
We come in peace to bring you terrific tasting space dust sizzling candy.
Space dust?
Wait till you experience the sizzle of galactic grape, orbiting orange, and cosmic cherry flavors.
Wow, the cherry tastes delicious!
I'm sizzling great!
Space dust sizzling candy.
Because purse candy had a different kind of power. It appeared during church, long car rides, waiting rooms, grocery lines, or any time a child started getting restless. It wasn't just candy. It was a peace offering, a distraction, a reward, and a tiny emergency supply all at once. And if someone reached into her purse and offered you one, you didn't ask how long it had been in there. You just took it. 2. Tissues that were never in the box.
Hi, Daddy. We didn't go camping because Mommy's cold, so we're just pretending.
Where's Mommy? Keeping warm. This mountain air's bad for my stuffy nose.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, thanks. My poor nose is so sore I really hate to blow.
Ever tried Puffs tissues, Mrs. Allen?
They help soften the blow. Puffs?
No one carried a full tissue box. Instead, there were tissues folded, crumpled, tucked into side pockets, or pulled from the bottom like they had been through something. Some were fresh, some were questionable, but there was always one available when needed. And they had multiple jobs: nose, spilled drink, smudged makeup, sticky hands, wiping glasses, cleaning a dashboard, emergency napkin. A purse tissue was ready for anything. It may not have looked elegant, but it was useful. 3. Avon lipstick sample or mini.
I sell Avon, and I never felt so good.
You never look so good. You never look so good.
There was often some tiny lipstick, sample tube, or miniature beauty product tucked somewhere inside the purse, and it always seemed more glamorous than its size should have allowed. It might have been an Avon sample, a decorative little lipstick shaped like something fancy, or a compact item that looked like it belonged on a vanity instead of buried under tissues and receipts.
When you see Avon now, you'll say, Avon, wow.
We got the twist, you got the mist, we got the bangles for your wrist. You got the sheen, you got the clean, we got the moisturizing cream. We got your style, you make you smile, you got the sparkle by the mile.
These mini products had a certain charm. They felt special, almost like treasures, because they weren't everyday objects you saw sitting out on the bathroom counter. They were smaller, prettier, and somehow more interesting than the full-size version. Even when they were practical, they still carried a sense of elegance. And they always had a purpose. A quick touch-up in the car before going inside, a glance in the mirror at a stoplight, a little color before church, dinner, or any place where looking put together mattered. They were small enough to carry anywhere, which made them feel clever as well as stylish. Even if they weren't used often, they stayed in the purse because they represented readiness. The idea that at any moment, with one tiny lipstick and 10 seconds, you could improve the whole situation. 4. A pantyhose egg container.
My daughter was playing dress-up when she looked at me and said,
"See, Mommy, I got wrinkly pantyhose too, just like yours."
I could have died. But the little darling was right.
Now I wear legs. Legs have memory yarn.
If you remember the leg-style pantyhose egg container, you remember that it somehow became more useful after the pantyhose were gone. The original purpose lasted about 5 minutes, but the container itself seemed to live forever.
Hi, I'm Juliet Prowse, and as a dancer, my legs are my fortune, so I'd be crazy to be caught with wrinkles around my ankles. That's why I wear legs. Legs regular pantyhose give me a beautiful fit.
That little plastic egg was too interesting to throw away. It snapped open and closed, fit nicely in a purse, and looked like it should be holding something important even when it wasn't. So it became a storage container for whatever needed a home. Coins, earrings, safety pins, aspirin, buttons, sewing items, or mysterious little things that might be useful someday.
Legs, legs, legs are here.
Legs, the new super stretch stocky and pantyhose you'll buy right in your supermarket at the Legs Boutique.
Our legs fit your legs. They hug you, they hold you. They never let you go.
Baggy knees are out. Definitely out.
Our legs fit your legs. They hug you, they hold you. They never let you go.
They did it.
The funny part is that it didn't even need to be full to stay in the purse. Sometimes it just sat there empty because throwing it away felt wrong. It had potential, and in the 1970s, potential was reason enough to keep something. So yes, the pantyhose may have been the product, but the egg became the real treasure. 5. A pen that barely worked.
You probably know this little Bic pen. It's so reliable, it's become most people's right hand. Well, now we have a surprise for you. The Bic Click. Inside, we've put the same tough guts as the regular Bic, but outside, we've given it a great new shape and a clicker and a clip.
Every purse had a pen, but almost never one that worked immediately. It would be pulled out with confidence, handed over like the problem was solved, and then the struggle began. You clicked it, shook it, scribbled circles on a receipt, pressed harder, tapped it against the counter, and tried again.
Flair, super pen, now with a point guard, a super hard, tough plastic shield. Won't mush down. Point guard, tough keeps fine lines fine, won't mush down. Bold lines bold, won't mush down. Makes Flair one pen that always writes just the way you feel, time after line after line.
Sometimes it came back to life with one faint blue line. Sometimes it worked just long enough to sign something before disappearing again. And still, nobody threw it away, because a pen that barely worked was still considered a pen. It might fail today, but tomorrow could be different. Maybe it just needed warming up. Maybe it needed to be stored tipped down. Maybe it had one more good signature left in it. That was the logic. And somehow, that unreliable little pen stayed in the purse for months, traveling everywhere, always almost useful. If this brought back memories you hadn't thought about in years, make sure you subscribe here on YouTube and follow me on Facebook. I post new videos like this every week, and there's always something that takes you right back. 6. Receipts from months ago. There were always receipts folded into tiny squares and tucked somewhere deep inside. Grocery receipts, department store receipts, gas receipts, mysterious slips of paper from places nobody remembered visiting. They had been folded, refolded, and carried around so long the edges were soft. Were they still needed? Probably not. Were they getting thrown away? Absolutely not. They stayed there like archived history. 7. Breath mints or slightly stale gum.
Big red gum.
Rounding up these horses is a big job. It's a piece of work that calls for a strong hand. Calls for a piece of big red chewing gum, too. Big red's got a big, bold taste, yeah.
Somewhere in the purse was a mint tin, a half-pack of gum, or loose mints that had seen better days. The gum might be a little stiff. The flavor might last 12 seconds. None of that mattered.
Wow! Sit down, Krebs.
Sorry, Teach. I didn't know the gum was loaded.
You didn't know Freshen Up was loaded with flavor?
He didn't know the gum was loaded.
But who expected all this taste?
These were handed out like currency. Before church, before company arrived, before going into a store, before talking to someone important, a mint from the purse could solve problems before they started. And everybody knew who to ask. 8. A small mirror or compact. There was usually a compact or tiny mirror tucked inside, ready for quick checks done in seconds. Open, glance, adjust, close. No long routine, no dramatic pause. Just a fast confirmation that everything was still where it belonged. Then snap, shut again. It wasn't vanity, it was maintenance. 9. Loose band-aids.
I am stuck on Band-Aid brand 'cause Band-Aid stuck on me.
I am stuck on Band-Aid 'cause Band-Aid stuck on me.
Not in a neat box, just in there. A little bent, slightly curled at the edges, but still ready to help. Purse Band-Aids handled blisters, paper cuts, scraped knees, broken sandal straps, and whatever else the day decided to create. They were part first aid kit, part problem-solving tool. And somehow, there was always one when you needed it. And I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing every 1970s purse had in it that I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments, because I know there were some unforgettable items hiding in there. 10. A mystery item. No one could explain. Every 1970s purse had one object that seemed completely random. A single button, a safety pin, a tiny key, a screw, a bead, something that clearly mattered once but now existed without explanation. Nobody knew why it was there. Nobody removed it. It simply remained, traveling from purse to purse, year after year, as part of the ecosystem. And in a strange way, it completed the whole thing. The 1970s purse wasn't organized by modern standards. It was better than that. It was lived in, practical, unpredictable, and always more useful than it looked from the outside. You never knew exactly what was in there, but you knew it would probably help. Everything I featured today is linked in the description below. Go check it out. If this took you back, click the one on your screen. It's all the odd things every 1970s mom kept in her purse.